Can somebody explain to me in crayon eating terms why I make over 3 times the federal minimum wage and I cannot afford to live? And I do not want to hear the pull yourself up from your bootstraps, work 90 hours a week. That's not the goal, guys. That should not be our standard. I am so fucking tired of people being complacent with this uniparty. Both of them us over. When my parents were my age, they both made less than half of what I make and they lived alone. I cannot afford to live anywhere alone. A 1-bedroom apartment, $1,800. 2-bedroom apartment, $2,200. Who the fuck can afford that? It is embarrassing to come out and say that it is a struggle to survive right now, but I know so many people are struggling. And do not get me started on what my grandparents were doing. They $3,000 house. And yes, I understand inflation and all of the bullshit that they have been pulling with the Fed. Why are we allowing it? Why? And then I clock out of my shift. I am tired. I have to go home. And I check the news. Another 65 billion to a country nobody can point out on a map. What are we doing? Where has the plot gone? We have lost it, folks. We have fucking lost it. The American dream is dead. It is over. Gone and forgotten.
Hello guys, how are you doing today? Welcome back. I hope you're doing great and having a good day today. Welcome back to Trending Pulse Worldwide. Now let's talk about what's really going on. Lately, a lot of white Americans have been posting videos, crying, stressing out, just talking about how hard life has gotten. And to be honest, they are not lying. Things in America have really gotten tough. And ever since the current administration took over, there's been a lot of policy changes, more taxes, new tariffs, bills getting passed left and right, and people are really starting to feel it. And the cost of living has shot up, wages aren't keeping up, and for many, it's like the so-called American dream is falling apart right in front of them. But what's interesting is these same issues, black people have been going through them for generations to generations and struggling to survive, working twice as hard to get half as far, feeling the weight of a system that was never really built for them. And now white folks are getting just a small taste of it and they're already overwhelmed. It's like they really thought suffering was only something black people dealt with. But now that the pressure is being spread around, it's becoming a crisis. Anyway, let's take a look at some of the videos and then we'll come back and talk about it.
I'm gonna say this one time real loud with my full chest, so go ahead and hear me out on this one. If working is mandatory, if labor is something we are required to do in order to prove we deserve our existence, if we have no choice but to choose an occupation whether or not we want it, if you are forcing me to sell my body to do somebody else's labor and telling me I have no other choice and neither does anyone else, you shouldn't have any other choice but to give us a roof over our heads, food for our stomachs, and whatever else we need to survive! If you want us to be forced to work, but do not want to guarantee life necessities, that is slavery, you f***wads! This country loves slavery, they just rebranded it! And don't tell me to leave! I would if I had the f***ing money! But that's the whole point of this system!
The American dream, what is that? Whatever it is and whatever it used to be is now dead. There is no American dream. The American dream used to be you were young, you got a job. College or no college, you got a job, you started working. You saved up money. You found somebody, bought a house or built a house, had a couple kids, had a little piece of property. The problem is now, today, that's unattainable. You can't get that. So 99% of people now live in apartments because you can't buy a house. You can't own a home and have a family and support your family on one income. Back then, like in 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, usually the husband or the father worked, mother stayed home with the kids. That's not even a thing anymore. Now two people got to work, and if you don't, it's not easy. It's a struggle. But the American dream is dead. Unfortunately, that's not a thing anymore. All we can do now is just try to get into one day to the next, and kind of hope for the best, and just get up, go to work, go to sleep, get up, go to work, go to sleep, get up, go to work, go to sleep, and that's it. That's the American dream.
Living in America is so expensive that it's not even living anymore. It's just a recurring subscription. You pay to live, you pay to work, you pay to eat, you pay to sleep. Rent, more than half your income. Groceries, doubled within a year. Gas, insurance, bills, taxes, damn near make money just to give it away. You're not living the dream. You're financing your own exhaustion. And their solution is budget better. Like you're out here buying Ferraris and filet mignon every single day. When in all reality, you're broke just buying basic needs. And here's the kicker. You do everything right. You go to school, you get the job, you play by the rules, and you're still barely hanging on. It's not your fault. The system was built by design. They want you broke, distracted, and grateful for crumbs, because a stressed, tired population doesn't rebel, it complies.
We're fucked. We are totally and completely fucked. We are at the point where the Titanic has hit the iceberg, split in two. It is starting to sink. All of the rich people have already left the boat. They are off to safety, and the rest of us are just running around while the ship's starting to sink. In fact, half the people are telling us that the ship is fine. Nothing's to worry about. Nothing's happening. And then of the half that are remaining, a third of those are telling us, just wait until we get in control of the ship and then we'll be fine. And another third of us are telling, we're not going to let anyone captain the ship until they can guarantee that we're going to only have cabins with double queen size beds and lobster dinner. And if we don't get those two things, we're not going to let you captain any ship. And then there's the remaining part of us that are just like, we are so totally, we know this ship is going down. What could turn this around, or what could help us, is our political leaders on the left. They are running for office to maintain power. Their number one goal right now is to get back in office. Again, we are on the Titanic. It is at the iceberg. It has split in half. It is sinking. These people want to be in control of the boat. They won't change anything. They just want to be in control. When you talk about the problem is the boat was built wrong, we need to rebuild the boat, they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to hear that. That's us overreacting. So we're fine. And I have accepted that. I don't know where ultimately this is going to go and what it's going to look like, but I know it's going to be bad. It's going to get worse.
So you saw it for yourself. White Americans are crying out. They are overwhelmed. They are saying life is becoming too hard. Rent is sky high. Groceries are unaffordable. Medical bills are piling up, and they are realizing that the American dream they believed in doesn't really exist anymore. But here's the real talk. They thought suffering was something that only happened to black people. And they probably thought poverty, struggle, and being crushed by the system was just a black issue, something they didn't have to worry about. But now that they are facing just a fraction of it, they are shocked, they are surprised, they are frustrated. And the truth is, black folks have been living this reality for generations and struggling to survive in a system that was never built to support them. Struggling to survive in a system that was never built to support them, working multiple jobs, getting overlooked, overpoliced, underpaid, and still pushing through. What's different now is who it's happening to. And because it's affecting people who never expected to be in this position, it suddenly feels like a crisis to them. And you know, it's not that the problems are new. It's that the pressure is finally touching people who once felt safe from it. And while this current administration are putting in more taxes, tariffs, and policies that weigh heavy on regular working people, it's becoming too much for a lot of folks, regardless of the race. So when we say they thought suffering was only for black people, we are not saying it with spite. We are just pointing out the truth, you know? And what's shocking to them has been a way of life for so many others. So my beautiful people, what do you think about all this? Is this finally opening people's eyes to see how broken the system really is? Or is this just the beginning of more people realizing that America isn't what they were promised, especially by the new administration? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from you. And before you leave, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more trending stories just like this. Thank you so much for sticking around. My name is Amy, and this is Trending Pulse Worldwide. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay blessed.